We're in Mount Baker, and if you see behind me here, Mount Baker is having a neighborhood yard sale. There's probably 6 places that look like they're pretty good, and we're gonna check them out. There's 45 sales happening in this neighborhood, but 6 of them specifically say vintage, and this one looked the most promising. Looks like a patio full here. These look like Nora Welling's Jolly Boys, the little sailor dolls that she started making in 1929. Bugs Bunny here. Oh, he's cute. He's an older American-made one. He's a little soiled, but you don't see the rubber face too much in Bugs. Not a bad price. I'm keeping the camera down because there's a bunch of other people here, but most of what's back here seems to be vintage. Here's another one of the Nora Welling's type dolls. They usually had the name of the ship painted around the headband. This one doesn't seem to have shoes, but they were very cute, done till the 60s. Let's see what we have in the ephemera section here. Needle cases, old AAA stickers. $5 for the pack of 3 is not a terrible price. People put those on old cars. Lots of ancestor photos, but not my ancestors. We already have plenty of our own ancestors in my family. Some people buy these because they don't have any, and so they buy people who look like them to create a false past. It's very curious. Yellowstone Park, the Haynes guides are classics. Some of them have great illustrations, but this one's in bad condition. Old confirmation from Germany. Okay, what else is there? Bunch of tin types. Chinese sewing basket. Neat Art Deco percolator or coffee carafe there. The Mickey and Minnie marionettes. And then, ooh, look at this. The frame is newer, but this is old. This says 1873 on the bottom. What a strange, interesting idea. It's like a circus, but an aquarium. Okay, who made this? It seems familiar, like a... Oh, no, I haven't seen this before. Pritzerware. Interesting, another kind of enamelware that looks like it's 1960s or 70s. Very good quality, similar to Descoware. I'll have to start looking for that. Little enamel tray with the leaves here. Hand enameled. Evans, yeah, that's nice. They did a lot of that cigarette lighter stuff. Guilloche, $20 is an okay price. Cute 1920s print. Oh, Hall China, only $2. Well, that's certainly cheap enough. That might go in my pile. I have a feeling a pile is going to be formed here. Oh, look at this guy, 1930s. He's a brush holder. You could use him for notes. $6, great face, great eye. I'll take him. This guy must be a super collector. His prices aren't dealer prices for the most part, but he definitely has old stuff. And, ooh, an Erica phone. Now, this one is a good color. It's got the plug that would work on a modern phone jack, but $100. That is the dealer price, so I don't recognize him as an antique dealer I'm familiar with in the area, though. So I think he's just a collector who really likes this stuff. These are good pipe pieces. If I had the stem, they'd be worth getting for $7 apiece. Clips, they're cameo, but they're plastic. He's got a big table of jewelry behind me. I think I'll wait for that. Denver, Colorado. And then Foresters on the left. But I have a lot of these type of ribbons right now. He looks like he's some sort of a conductor or something in that hat. What do we have in these boxes here? Little figurines and pieces. Little celluloid pens. Let's see if there's any interesting advertising. Pens and pencils can sell, but it has to have something good on it that's national and well known. And there's my little pile. Kind of a neat tin there with the medieval looking man on it. And then these are Limoges, I believe. They're Napoleon brandy bottles, and they're nice porcelain. They're gift box from the 60s and 70s. Let's see, more little stuff. Rosaries. Alternate. Well, you want the real person, not the alternate. The alternates are not worth as much, no matter what they were alternate for. That's kind of a nice looking lighter, but not a Zippo. Zippo, of course, is the name we really seek, and Ronson. Another fob from Colorado. He must spend some time there or have done some buying there.
All right, what is this? Oh, one of those Volksmarch type badges from Germany. I noticed he had one of the staffs as well with all the decorations on it. I like the fezzes. He's got a good variety, and these are older ones. I'm not sure where else Hussein Shrine is, but these are all from the Shriners. And they're older because they don't have the plastic liners or the bright new rhinestones. Kismet, and then Zemzem sounds like a weight loss supplement. Nile is our local temple here in Seattle. These are priced pretty well. I think they're only $7 each. I might have to pick up a couple of these. Haven't had any in a while. They usually sell for about 20 to 25 for me. And this one is tempting just because it's a different color and I like the tiger. Well, we'll see. I like the big tassel on that one though. Let me think about those. There's that staff I was mentioning. Bicycle bell. These are newer than they look. They're from the 80s and they're from Taiwan. This guy has so much vintage stuff that I'm going to take a little extra time here because, the other ones, if they're yard sales, they're not likely to have as much and it may not last by the time I get there. So I figure I better really take advantage of this place. And he's got really fun stuff. Love the Google-eyed lion there. I'm looking more for older mechanicals. There are a couple back here. There's one that opens up with a honeycomb for my wife. Prices are fair. They're good for collectors. They're not really reseller prices though. Bunch of postcards. I have a bunch of fresh postcards. Mysteries of Marriage. Oh, a sex manual. My goodness. Baba Black Sheep. I like these little string instruments. They are made in Russia, or in this case, Belarus. I already have one for sale though. Little plastic squeeze box. That's kind of cute. Walt Disney. This looks like about the time he died, even though it's a newer frame. The Camp King is the classic Boy Scout knife. It's a fairly lightweight one, but it's good. At least it has lots of blades. Linens, a 48-star flag. I like the flag. $20 is an okay price, but not a bargain price. And it looks like a little bit of ecru and some doilies, but pretty basic stuff there. Oh, this is fun because it's a flash view for Dr. Seuss. Oh, look at the vintage wrapping paper. Some of these patterns are pretty fun, and they're only asking $3 for a whole packet full. They're mainly to wrap small gifts, but a lot of people just like them for scrapbooking nowadays, and this one's perfect for Father's Day coming up. I think I might have to pick up one or two of these. Some of them are older looking than others, but yeah, that one seems like it's got some good patterns right there. So I think I'll take that one and let someone else have the other two. But before I say that, let me see what's in the bottom one. Oh yeah, best wishes. These look more like anniversary and things. Florals, yeah, I don't do those well. Oh yeah. Yeah, these are newer than I like. 70s and 80s. But I do like these older ones. All right, let's see what's on this table. Games, Stranger Things, that is strange. Custom fangs. Oh, and hard plastic Easter candy holders, only $4 for 4. I'll take those. I never find this stuff. And Mickey Mouse for $1 that keeps the pencils. I remember that from childhood. Yes. All right. Well, I'm finding some little things here. It's starting to add up to a pile. Giant sunglasses. I need them in the box though. The checkerboard is cute, but I don't think it's really old. $6 is a good price. It's actually feed sack material, I think. Yeah, that'd be fun if you were making things out of it. That was horse feed. Okay, yep. That'd be great if you could make things. I don't. Let's see. Ball jars. Don't need those. Camp stove is kind of a good color. Basic tools, not really my thing. Oh, but a glass doorknob set. These are like the doorknobs that were in the house I grew up in. Every house had these in the 1920s, and for $5, yeah, we can make money on that. Okay, what else is there here? Oh, the toolbox, Sears Craftsman. Now this is a $25 or $30 toolbox. I know it's got a little paint on it, but it doesn't have any rust. It's in pretty decent condition overall. Minor rust, I guess. Yeah, $3. I'm definitely going to take that. Well, I made a pile over by the fellow, so now I have my hands free again. Idaho plate, that looks like one of the ones made by Kettering in Ohio. Bronze baby slipper bookends. Those are nice and heavy and in good condition, but I just don't sell these very well. Oh, the India brass bells. They've got paper stuffed in them so they're not ringing, but they're $4 for 4. Yeah, I can't pass those up at that price. Lots and lots of CDs and DVDs, and I see some fun stuff. Vinyl, well, let's spend a little bit of time because he's obviously curated things, so he might have some interesting vinyl. We might see some things like this album, It's a Beautiful Day. One very popular song from 1967. This one's cool. World's Fair, it's got the cutout. We don't see this one as often. It's $5 because we're in Seattle. I know I can sell this for 12 or 15. It's got the Space Needle and the fountain on the back. I think I'll take that one. Yeah, definitely Seafair Records. It's the original that people are looking for. Janis Joplin's band Big Brother and the Holding Company did Cheap Thrills, their most famous album, and Art Crumb is actually the illustrator of the cartoons on the front of it. The Magical Music of Walt Disney, Ike and Tina Turner, Volunteers by Jefferson Airplane, that was a good album. That's very strange looking there. Surrealistic Pillow. I want to take a look at this because if this is in mono, surprisingly on some of these early ones, mono is more valuable than stereo because they had to record it so you got the full effect without having a stereo. So it's actually a different recording, and then they went out of fashion. But this one says stereo right on the album, so that is not a mono. Another Ike and Tina Turner here with the sticker on it. Sometimes even just something as simple as a sticker will make a difference. And we have a picture disc, Bernie Taupin, The Flying Lizards. These have definitely been curated. He has some idea what he has, and he has priced most of them pretty much for what they should be. Here's another Space Needle. This is not an official World's Fair record, but it is actually music from the Carillon. Grace Jones, he definitely has some artists that people who are into the more avant-garde and fringe records would be interested in, but nothing that I see that is super scarce or really unusual. It needs restringing, but this violin for only $30 is a Lyons and Healy. It's a decent brand from about 1910. Well, I noticed nobody has been going for the jewelry, so I will take a look at it now. The owl pendant is fun. I think he wants 15 for that. That doesn't really give me quite enough room. It's not a super special one. Cute enough from the 70s. This piece looks like something, but it's not a signed piece of any import. Let's take a look here. That's a nice looking bracelet. It is smallish though, isn't it? It looks like it would be really just a little too small for anyone to wear these days, unfortunately. Textured stones definitely can sell pins. This has an interesting, but I don't know if necessarily attractive combination of them. And it's not super cheap for what it is. Let's see what else there is. Thermoset. The pin, usually you just see the necklaces and sometimes earrings. Those are cute but small. That's okay, but I have better ones of the flower basket. This is a neat set, but $30, I could not get 60 for it. I don't even think I'd get 45. All right, let's see what else they have. I like the color of the enameling on this particular leaf pin, but it'd have to be less expensive for me. We'll come around the table. He's got quite a bit. The yellow beads, that's a 1940s construction that you see there. I see a shield necklace. This black and clear is from the early 60s, a formal pin for holiday period. It's fine. It's decently made. It's, again, not an important maker of any sort, though. These picks are fun. And let's see what we've got in here. I see some stuff that I like. If I can get this open with one hand, there we go.
Let's take a look at this pick. Oh, it's newer than it looks. Yeah, and I'm sure the pin next to it is too. The price is certainly good at $4 for just something wearable. $4 on these from the 50s seems cheap, but missing a clip, darn. Ah, now this is nice. This looks like 1930s Czech, and it's $12. I'm going to take it out of the bag and see the condition. Yes, I like this very much. I will put this in my pile. And let's see what else we have. Now that we're getting into the bag stuff, I think there are things that he charged a little more for, but they're better. $7 on this. This looks like an old Trifari to me. And sure enough, there's the mark with the crown before 1969. This is a good piece. So I found a couple pieces of jewelry, and once you find a few, of course, you have to keep digging. I'm going to look at every single piece. Those are not bad. I'm really looking for sign pieces. That has a look to it. I think that's BSK. I think I've had this piece before. Not a bad look, but you know, I have a lot of gold tone right now. I'm really looking for more colorful things. These are supposed to be Hopi. They seem a little bit cheaply made though. This is nice, but he wants 35. That looks like something made in India, but I like the bib. Lots of bead strands. I keep thinking bead strands should start doing better, but I'm not really selling them well. The compacts are pretty plain. This one is nice because it's big enough to use as a billfold, but again, pretty plain and rather lightweight and a little scratched. And condition really matters when you're dealing with these sorts of things. Yeah, this one also 1950s. Nice piece, but it's just not in good enough shape for me. More beads. A Maltese cross in red. Not finished greatly though. This is cute, but it's initials, and that makes it too specific, unfortunately. Anti-M, Anti-M. Another nice little set here. Rather delicate. I don't see a maker name on there. This cuff is neat enough looking, but newish. Love the bird. Not a fan of the shiny gold though. That's going to be 80s, 90s. This is a 1940s construction here, but it doesn't look like it would lay well. Modernist cross. Well, lots of jewelry. I found two pieces I really like. And let's see if there's any more. This, a bunch of buttons in enameling. Those are kind of nice, but I haven't had a lot of luck with buttons of that sort. This is a neat fob with a machine on it, a backhoe, but someone initialed it and scratched their name in the surface. 35 on the jewelry casket is about what I'd like to get for it. It's nice though. Clock says it's as is. Ooh, another Erica phone in a great color, but also $100. I like the Finney Walker clock. That looks like a travel clock, maybe with the box attached. These are fun. Are these vintage? Oh, I don't think they are, but they're really, no, they're not at all. All right, let's see what the children's books look like. Peter Potamus. Woody Woodpecker. Bedtime Stories is a little bit older. Donald Duck's Christmas Tree. Birds of a Feather. Cinderella's Friends. The Flintstones. That's got some age. This one's cute. Zuzu Dot Drawing Book. This seems like it might be a Connect the Dots. Looks like something out of the 1930s or so. And someone has connected the dots. Tom and Jerry, Wagon Train, very 50s. Aladdin is later, of course. Cute stuff, but no must-haves. The little girl halo print is a match for the little boy halo print we saw earlier. Seattle World's Fair records with the Space Needle on them, but $10 each is what I get. Ooh, on the other hand, this is kind of neat. Somebody had a sketch of their boat that was being made, done around 1940. $10? Yeah, I think that's interesting.
I love that word.
Yeah, that's fun.
This is the other one.
Oh my gosh, that's cool. Sons of the Prophets is a great local history book, but I look for it in hardback rather than the soft cover. Don't ask what goes on behind those swinging doors. Ooh, Ema Sumac.
Now these books look newer, but this is a great reference book. And I've never owned this one. I've had other Judith Miller books, but I've seen this one, and it's really good because it gives great pictures and really thorough backgrounds on a lot of the really big names in costume jewelry, the stuff that we hope to find and should be looking for. I'll take this for $5. All right, let's see, Automobile Quarterly. These can be interesting to people sometimes. Generally, they want it to be about one mark or one make or one line, like the Pontiac 6, that might sell. I don't see any others. Mustang, a later Mustang guide. Manuals do tend to sell. Another Haynes guide. Robert's Rules of Order. We were just talking about how we should memorize that so that we can be annoying at meetings. Shirley Temple's Favorite Poems. I'm sure that's cute. An early primer. Cub Scouts. Spices and how to use them. Some of these old recipe books are pretty fun. I have a woman who comes and buys them, and she'll do the recipe the old-fashioned way with all the ingredients, and then she'll modernize it and do it again, and she has a whole vlog she does about that and does very well. It turned into a part-time job for her. Cute little pinups. Seattle Rangers, I'm not sure what that's regarding. Fun ephemera. The Scenic West by Standard Oil, that's a pretty typical one we see. I don't see anything really unusual in this group of paper stuff, though. Hey, I'm having fun. Laughing. This would be great if it was in better shape. Ooh, and Liberace. Oh, well, now, here's something that we have to have, because, of course, we have a friend in the business who just loves him. Maybe she can join his special club before 1973.
The Niagara Corsage. That's fun. I think that would make me fall asleep in the car.
Yeah, you can take pictures of these if you want. That would help.
Those are awesome. No, that's great, actually. Thank you. Well, I read the descriptions well to figure out which sale to go to first, and boy, did I pick it. I don't know that I've ever spent $80 at a garage sale before. Now, there's going to be a lot of yard sales like this, where it's just some clothes and kid stuff, and they're getting started late. We have a swarm of people here, but this is not the one I'm headed to. The one I'm headed to has vintage, and it's just down the street. Okay, this one says it has vintage. I don't see it, but we'll see if it's up there. Burnett College issue. Port Marion Welsh dresser. I haven't seen this pattern before. Yeah, the Welsh dresser sells, but I don't think there's enough room in it to sell online. Nice watercolor. Denise Molman, not somebody I'm familiar with. Ties that we don't wear anymore.
Because of that, you have to look for special ones like Jerry Garcia ties or things that have painted surfaces.
Jane's 1898 time capsule. This looks Italian made. Not necessarily old. Maybe a little age. $4 is a good price, but it's been damaged. All right, we're close to our next destination. We're crossing Mount Baker Boulevard. Mount Baker is the district we're in here, where all of the garage sales are being held today. Well, here we have a couple of sales all in one place. One of them says vintage, but we're going to see all of them since we're here.
Well, let's start here. I see jewelry, but it's all newer. I see ephemera, but it's mostly newer. And I see Flip Out. Star Wars, also newer.
1993 X-Men.
Seems like these people are into a little bit of potty humor here. And you can write special notes. And they even have an outhouse to stick it in when you're done.
This one has the pour spout, $20. Wedgwood version of Peter Rabbit.
I do not believe that those gold utensils are from the 50s. They look much more modern to me.
Cute little Vernon Kilns, a little worn on the edge.
Toastmaster had both Stengel and Franciscan make pieces as go-alongs and premiums for their stuff back in the 1930s. And what a great price.
And because this is larger and it glows, I'm interested. Oh, but I see chips. It would still probably sell, but I'm picky about that. Some sort of a projector.
This looks like 1950s Japanese advertising, probably for Camel cigarettes, if I'm understanding that right. It's too bad it has water damage. That's pretty cute. The Skip Hop vehicle, yeah, they've got a bunch of stuff that's newer and just sort of family stuff, which is typically what we see at garage sales. But I'm finding some old stuff too.
Denver Nuggets. What in the world are these? The Atlanta Hawks. All basketball. Orlando. I wonder where these hung. Sacramento Kings. They got them at second use for $10 each. They must have been in some arena. Boy, if I was headed any of those places, I think I'd have to get those for that price. I'm not sure how I'd display them, though.
Well, we're finding at least one thing to look at every sale. I am not sure how long that'll last because it's about 10:30 in the morning and there are more people out and they're just garage sales. So the supplies are going to run out fast. So we got to keep on moving. We've got 3 more that said they have vintage. Let's go look.
Little drive-by cruising, but I don't see anything old. All right. I think there are older things here. This is handmade. But not anything. Oh yes, the 45, $10. Kind of a clever use of maple seeds.
Yeah, we'll want that one. I know.
Rubber duckies, rubber dollies.
I do not rush to the plush unless I see something that is obviously old.
Very pretty rocker with the penny point, or needle point. $75, that Empire, about 1900 in mahogany.
Well, the furniture is old, but the jewelry is newer. I see cute pieces, but nothing as old as what I deal in, including the fake turquoise. If there were some silver, I'd be interested.
Oh, really? Yes.
These are neat looking, but they, again, don't appear to really be vintage. They just have a vintage look, as a lot of sunglasses do these days.
Ah, yes. These look like they're all from the peak years.
Thanks a lot. Thank you. Nice to meet you. Bye.
Yes, when they made the most of all. Reproduction, but the original was a cool piece. Ah, a Lennox jeweled cat. $10. I like this old car clock, or carriage clock, but it's a Pottery Barn reproduction. Yeah, a lot of what they say is vintage is actually fake.
I mean, if that telescope had any age, I could sell it, but that is practically brand new, I can tell. Very thin brass, and it's priced at $30. Those are new too. No luck here.
Including these special edition of classic means they're not old. Ah, here we go. Royal Albert on a Shelley-like pattern. 15 isn't a terrible price. Apple Blossom's a nice pattern, but I don't think that's as inexpensive as I'd like to get it. Well, they have nice things, but not old things.
Oh, those beagles are living their best life. I did an appraisal in that house years ago. Parts of Mount Baker are full of old manors, and this is one of them, and they say they have vintage.
Some art.
Oh, dear. So, on the beaky around the corner.
I don't believe these are old. Peace, friend. Little wooden shoes. Dutch souvenirs. Kinder date. All right. Maybe we'll have some vintage in the housewares. This seems newer. And it is. Older copper luster. This is 30s era. When it's mostly white. Then it's 1930s as opposed to the 19th century. Bailey's mugs from the 90s. $20 they want for the pair. Being in Grandel, wouldn't have expected that to be one of their patterns. Nicely signed, 1980s. Hand painted, I think amateur, but very nice. A Bluebird of Happiness. $20, my goodness. No. Bavarian. Looks like Lennox. Yes, this is English Franciscan after they moved it over there. Billary and Bach. You still do? This is 1940s Marcrest. Friendly Village. This is Lennox here. There's the mark. I like the enamel piece, but it's got damage in the middle. That's unfortunate. It's Pavano, which I've always liked. I like the carb, but that's not very old either. Well, I'm seeing some vintage. I'm not seeing anything I need. That's just weird. House art from New York. Nice old caster set with Lily of the Valley. This is going to be from the early 1900s. This feels pressed rather than cut. $35 for the pair. Yeah, these are not garage sale prices. Nippon, $20 for the Oleg Cassini, but a lot of these are pretty recent. Let's see if this is Walt Disney Productions or if it's later. It does not have an ink stamp, so I have to assume later. Ocarina is fun, at least the colors are. $10, but it's very lightweight and not old. This has some age. I believe that's Puritan pottery. These look like late 80s or early 90s studio pieces. 98. Frère Jacques. That has a little bit of age. Saragouamines is a company that we see making good stuff, but I don't like those prices at all. Vernon Organdy from about 1950. That's plastic.
That's pretty cool, so.
22. This is a Spode pattern. Marlboro sprays. And they want $40 for that. I mean, these are prices higher than I would ask for these pieces. Hey, we can see where we are. This is Seattle. And there is Mount Baker. That's where all the sales are today. Not too far from downtown. Well, this is a good neighborhood, and because of that, well, some of these people are used to paying a lot of money for things, and I think they're asking a lot of money for things because of that. The sales have been going for about an hour and 45 minutes. We found some stuff. The first place was the best place. This last place had lots of good stuff, but they were asking retail. But we have one more place that we can look. Now, this one didn't advertise vintage, but I see some things that are, so we're going to go there. And there's another one across the street. Several pieces of Astoria American. 15 on the three-toed is not bad. Oh, they're donating the proceeds. That's nice. Icers. Those are a little harder to find. The top hat. Relish, mayonnaise, and spoon. 30 on the friendship bird. 25 on the butter print. But you know, with the prices these are going for, I kind of understand those prices. Happy tomatoes. 20 bucks. Well, again, not exactly garage sale prices. Sunbeam pink fryer, and that's a cool color from the 50s, $15. These look like Port Marion as well. And they are the Botanic Garden, but these are Chinese made, so they're later. And then these are Port Marion Pomona. They've actually done a number of different patterns over the years. And this particular set is English made. And they're asking $40 for the 3, which is not a terrible price. And then these are oil lamps, miniature oil lamps from the 1960s. I like the Kelvin here because it's the most realistic looking, like the Victorian ones that they are copying. Sea lion case with the Moriaga dragon on it. Couple of utility lamps from the 60s. $1 is certainly cheap on the banjo thermometer. That is one of the stranger things I've ever seen. Yeah, it is so strange. Yeah, it has a pigtail.
Because it has a trunk, the dominant feeling is it's an elephant.
Right.
Everything else is, it's got the birds' talon.
Yes, it has bird talons and a human chest and...
Elephant gargoyle.
It is very strange. Wow, lots of dolls of the world. 20% of 12. Okay, let's see. We've got some ironstone, a little bit of elegant glass. That's nice to see. Provincial bubble, $5 for the big pink bowl is not a bad deal. You don't see it in pink as much as you see it in blue, that's for sure. This is a nice crystal decanter.
Oh, good. Well, and I put some screws in there and tie down brackets, but we just got some.
Don't see a name. Let's see the candelabra here with the silver plate. They seem to be solid, but I don't want to drop any candle cups, so let's take those out so we can take a look at the bottom. They're older. I don't know who made them. They're a nice design. I like these because they have style, and even though they're silver plate, they would sell. I imagine they might sell for as much as $85, $95 for the pair. But that means I'd have to get them for around $30. How much are the candles?
The candelabra.
Oh, I just saw it says pair, but it doesn't have a number. Well, the number was $50, a little bit more than I'm willing to pay. Well, that most peculiar elephant, pig, humanoid lamp, that definitely had age. If I had a good shade for it at $75, I might be tempted because it's just so weird. But this was a side stop I wasn't expecting. We're still headed to one more sale. What we found so far at the Mount Baker yard sales is that the expensive houses with the expensive views have expensive prices, and the houses that are more middle class in the middle of the neighborhood, they're the places to get the deals. Why are there expensive houses? Well, views like this have a lot to do with it. On a clear day, you can see the Cascade Mountains. Today, you see the Mercer Island floating bridge and the bedroom community of Bellevue from this lovely, long-established community of Mount Baker in Seattle. All right, we're going to do a drive-by of this one. I see some chairs. I don't see old stuff. Okay, it's the last one that said it had vintage. I see vintage right away. Ooh, and it's in the garage of a 50s era house. That could be promising. Sometimes things that they haven't thought to put out for sale suddenly are. $10 on the desk. Love the old stool. 20 bucks is a good price. It sits pretty low though. Leakin Child set. The art glass leaf looks newer. Also newer. Interesting design, I guess. Oh, Baker's Extract. Oh, too bad that has the wrong stopper because that's a great piece.
Here's two of her. Yes. Is it good stuff for $4? It's like kind of jack. Yeah.
Hammers, but it's multiple sets. Propeller. No stopper, that's Pilgrim glass there.
You think that's what you want?
So is that with the stippled bottom, and $5 is good, we'll take that. Yeah, that one's really bargain price compared to the other ones. I'm not sure why it's so much cheaper, but I'm not going to complain, I'll just take it and be happy. 15 on the Franciscan. Sugar and cream. It's got the original Gladys McBean label from the 30s. These look like a chalkware version of Hetty Shook. Francomas.
It is all over, and I don't know exactly where. Online, there's a map, the Mount Baker Community Center, and I think they have live there. But
Very heavy cast iron little dog doorstop. He's small, but he's cute. Ah, newer than it looks. Cute 50s trays. 100 on the Martha Washington sewing cabinet. Oh, I like the fiberglass bowl with the butterflies. That would match the little planter I have. 15 on that.
Well, the Mount Baker community yard sales were a success. We stopped at 7 places, bought at about half. This Pilgrim glass piece is my last piece of the day, but I'm very happy with what I got, so let me show you now. I generally don't go to garage sales because I don't find enough good stuff that's vintage at most garage sales, and it's just a lot of time poking around to find one thing here and one thing there. But the community garage sales, on the other hand, they're great because everybody's selling at the same time, so your chances are good. We'll start with the more industrial end here. I paid $3 for the Sears Craftsman toolbox, and it's got a little paint on it. It's not absolutely perfect, but it's in good shape overall, no rust, and they sell for about $35 typically, and I paid $3. Glass doorknobs, they usually sell for $10 or $12. I paid $5. The brass bells from India were $1 a piece. I get about $5 a piece for them. The Liberace Legend, it was $1. I couldn't resist. And then this album from the World's Fair is $5, but here in Seattle, especially with that cutout cover, that usually sells for about 12 to 15. Maybe it was because of Father's Day, I don't know, but I just thought the 1950s, 60s era wrapping paper was really fun. It was $3 for that whole bag full. The Pilgrim glass little viewer there was $5. Love the handle, it's a little bigger, and definitely Pilgrim glass because you can see where they use the waffle tool to match down the pontil. And that makes it Pilgrim from about 1960. One of the things the Moretti brothers from Murano came over and designed for them. I never find these little Easter critters. It was $4 for the family of 4 from the 1950s. I just had to say yes. Only $1 there on the little Mickey Mouse cover. And the 2 Stangl pieces with the logo for Toastmaster were $3 each. Those date to the 1930s. I typically sell them for about 15 a piece. In them, a couple of good pieces of costume jewelry. I paid 12 for the Czech pendant on the left from the 1930s. I paid 7 for the Trifari pin, which has the crown mark before 1969. That's a nice piece. This brush holder, which could also be used for notes, is just fun and has a great eye from the 1930s with the carved bird, and it was $6. I thought the sketch of the cruiser was really cool. I like the colors. It's from the 1930s, done for Mr. John Sandusky of Seattle. Specks of Seattle is the boat, and this was only $10. I thought it was interesting, and someone who likes old boats or nautical stuff will enjoy that. I found this similarly interesting. It's a newer frame, but when I looked at the printing at the bottom, I realized this is an old lithograph.
dated 1873, and it's just bizarre. It is the aquarium, but they have it like a traveling circus, and I just thought it was so interesting. And they've got hammerhead sharks and whales and all sorts of crazy things that would not definitely make it down the road in something like that. So it was just so fantastic, I had to buy it, and it was only $3. In honor of costume jewelry, I went ahead and bought this for $5. It's the Judith Miller's Collector Guide series, and this is the costume jewelry. I met Judith Miller when she was here in Seattle promoting one of her collector's reference books, and I have to say they're really well studied and really good. There's a lot of great information in here. And she shows the good stuff like Hobey, companies like Farner, who we don't all know, but we should, and brands like Christian Dior. So this is a really good reference, and I can't wait to look through it and share it with all of you. And then last but definitely not least, and I paid $20 for this, but I thought it was just great, the Niagara complete massage set for the chair, for the car, with handheld operation, as well as a big pad. It has all of the original stuff, including the guarantee, and this owner's manual that shows this woman using it on legs and feet and ankles and her neck after washing the face well and applying a good tissue cream. And it must really work, because ultimately she ends up flat on the couch. This is just one of those weird things that I could see some car enthusiast wanting, because they were sold as something to use in your car back in the 50s. It's just got the great graphics. I figured somebody somewhere will pay $50 for it. So those were the finds. That was the fun. And if you get a chance to hit a community bunch of yard sales, I recommend it, because your chances of getting something good are good.
If you enjoyed this video, check out this one. Also, click thumbs up to like this video, and check the description for information about our Patreon, our memberships. We've got a lot of different levels with different perks and bonus videos and early content. Also, please do check out our website, theantiquenomad.com, for appraisal help, and we'll see you again for more adventures in the antique and vintage community soon. Bye for now.